Alright, yo, One Piece chapter 1189 just dropped, and when I say just dropped, I mean it literally just dropped like less than about 10 minutes ago. Like, I saw one of you guys tell me that the chapter dropped today, and I was under the impression that this week was gonna be a break week, but it seems like it's not, so I guess we have one chapter to react to this week. But without any further delay, let's get into it and read One Piece chapter 1189. I just checked, the title is King of the World. Alright, so the chapter cover is Nami and a bunch of monkeys. Just a random cover art request. I don't think there's any significance to this one like there usually is. Maybe reading the chapter there's gonna be further significance, but we'll see. Okay, Luffy after just one hit from Imu. It wasn't one hit, let's not glaze this Oda. Huff huff. Imu's looking at him. Damn, he pins him to the tree after. Holy! He just run through, boom, right into the tree. That's crazy. Alright, keeping on reading. Usopp is shocked. Wait, was he not watching the fight? I thought the Straw Hats were watching the fight. Okay, so Usopp, observation, maybe it's observation hockey feed from Usopp. He senses that something's wrong with Luffy. Nami doesn't get any weird feeling, which I'm assuming this means it's observation hockey. It's Luffy. I'm just worried if he's gonna be alright. What? Why are you being so ominous all of a sudden? Okay. Of course he'll be fine. Don't forget his opponent swiftly defeated a large giant, Nami. Grr, hey fishman, huff huff. Who the hell are you saying he defeated? All I can say for sure is that Luffy's hockey suddenly just weakened now. Or all I can say for sure is that Luffy's hockey suddenly weakened just now. So this does appear to be an observation hockey feed for Usopp. Hopefully he gets more than this. There, she's completely thawed out, Princess Shuri. We shouldn't warm her up too quickly. Don't worry, I don't have any body heat. What happened back then? Tell me about that time. It is you, isn't it? So Brook out here trying to talk to an unconscious Shuri because he's just fretting over what happened back then. Princess Shuri, squeak squeak. Ragnar and Usopp, yeah, you know, Ragnar and Usopp might be a good combo in the future. You know, Usopp's been sticking pretty close to Ragnar. Stay back, don't get in the way, squeak squeak, gah. Brook, are you good here? If things get scary, then Hyrodin, we're going too fast. Okay, the new giant pirates. Wah-ak. They hit Loki. They got the stuff that's happening with Loki is actually hilarious to me, bro. The reason why it's so funny is because of the kind of character Loki is. Like, Loki is just such a chill dude. Well, he's chill outside of battle, and like all these goofy people are just around him, getting him into trouble, bro. It's crazy. Goa, Chopper goes guard point. What are you guys doing here? Hyrodin, Gerd, Chopper. Thank you, Chopper-kun. You're so cute and reliable. Okay, Chopper gimmick. I don't remember the last time I've actually seen this gimmick. I think the last time was when in Wano, maybe? So, good Chopper gimmick. Praise like that doesn't make me happy or anything, you jerk. I need to hurry, Loki. Let me see those wounds. Gerd tending to Loki. I wonder if this is Hyrodin's girl or not. Because, you know, Loki might end up stealing Hyrodin's girl. There's blood everywhere. This is bad. You guys will make my injuries worse. What did you come here for? Huff huff. Hyrodin. On TCB scans it says something different, so I'm assuming that this is like a pretty quick translation. Hyrodin, it's a waste for you to make a stand here. Go back up, Loki, but the kids... Oh, sorry. Go back up, Loki, but the kids... Even if we rescue the children, it'll just be a temporary reprieve. Their goal is to totally subjugate Elbaf by force. Do you really think this is a position that they just decided on at the Reverie? So this is another thing as well. If Imu beats Luffy here, is he going to leave without the kids? And if we really think he's going to take the kids and subjugate Elbaf, then like the way the story goes forward from that point is very strange to me. Because there's so many things that we have to do outside of the Elbaf lore, where it's like, if Imu kills Luffy, or well, he's obviously not going to kill Luffy here, but if Imu wins here, what's the goal after he wins? Because if he wins here, then he's going to take the kids. Elbaf is basically done. He's probably gonna kill Loki too, because I don't see why he'd let Loki live, but let's continue reading the chapter. That can't be the whole story, right? That man is likely at the heart of this. I'm assuming he's talking about Imu here. That man is likely at the heart of this. That man, Oda doing the whole that man, this guy, that person thing again. I'm assuming he means Imu, but I'm assuming he means Imu. I don't really know who else Yaru would be saying could be at the heart of this besides Imu. Loki, do you have any idea who that guy is? Yeah, sort of. Okay, so it's talking about Imu. It seems thou art unable to move. Cough, wheeze. It seems thou art unable to move. Imu's way of talking is so hilarious to me, man. It seems thou art unable to move. Cough, wheeze, wheeze. This sword feeds on life force. How many slashes can thou endure before perishing? Imu is a swordsman. Let's make no joke. Him using guns, him using axes, him using a magic book. This guy is a swordsman. Let's stop the whole, he's not actually a swordsman. He uses other weapons. No. I don't know where you guys got the thing from in One Piece where it's like a character can use things besides a sword and then now all of a sudden they're not swordsmen. Zoro literally has a style called no sword style. Is Zoro not a swordsman because he now has a no sword style? Like, let's be for real. Imu's a swordsman. Luffy's looking rough. I don't think I've ever seen Luffy look this rough in a minute. I think the only time I remember seeing Luffy look this rough is like with Magellan. Or not with Magellan, when he was getting the treatment from Ivankov, where you could see like his heart constricting, like when he was chained up. Like that's the only other time I think I've seen Luffy look worse than this, which it makes sense as well because the sword is draining his life force, and then against Ivankov when he was getting that cure, that was also draining his life force to an extent. So the whole Luffy dying at the end of the story because he's like used up so much of his lifespan with Gear 5 and Gear 2 and Gear 4 and the gears, that kind of thing, it may actually end up coming back around if this does drain a significant portion of his life force, because then at that point you have Gear 2 when he first is using it, Magellan and Ivankov when he was in Impel Down, him constantly using the steroid amp from Ivankov during Marineford, him going like crazy after Ace died, then the Gear 2 and Gear 4 nerf, like it kind of doesn't exist anymore. Gear 5, when he died against Kaido that first time, I believe would have been a nerf on his lifespan. And then I think Gear 5 doesn't drain his lifespan continuously, it just drains his stamina. But then now with Imu, and possibly even in the future, like Luffy very well may end up dying early in his life at the end of the story, maybe say after he reaches like 40 or something. Or he may end up getting to the point where he reaches his peak early, and then once he should have reached his peak, he's actually starting to fall off, which, hey, if we ever do get a One Piece sequel, it would explain why Luffy doesn't just steamroll every threat. So, Monkey D. Luffy is such a detestable name to Mu, and yet thou has two elder siblings who go by different names. He's talking about Sabo and Ace. Monkey D. Luffy is such a detestable name to Mu. I'm assuming it's because of the D and not because Monkey D is important, because actually it might be because of Dragon, but if I don't really think Imu has any like actual beef with Dragon besides them being like against the government, which I mean for Imu does he even really care about that because he didn't seem to care about Roger. So I think when he says such a detestable name to Mu, I think it's just because of the D and not because of the Monkey D. And yet thou has two elder siblings who go by different names. A brother slain by the Navy, Huff Huff, Luffy's still looking rough. And the other is a prominent member of the Revolutionary Army. So, you know what would be funny? If Imu mentions that he basically almost packed up Sabo too. That would be hilarious if he mentioned that to Luffy. Oh my gosh, he hits Luffy with another one? Holy buddy! Yeah, this guy is definitely a swordsman first off, but damn! Like, it's actually insane to me that Luffy is probably going to survive this. Cause this should kill Luffy. Like getting run through by two swords, those swords drain your lifespan. The fact that Imu won't kill Luffy here it's wild. Like, disregarding the whole Imu final villain thing, any villain at all in the story, if they ever did anything like this to Luffy and didn't kill Luffy, like Kaido hitting Luffy with Death Destroyer Thunder Bagua when he killed him for Gear 5, that not killing Luffy, I can excuse that because blunt force attacks usually don't really do anything to Luffy, even if they're coated with Haki. But swords are Luffy's weakness. These swords are like amped to all hell. These are probably supreme grade blades. Like these look like to be actual swords. They're not like made up constructs like the one that he stabbed Loki with. Like these are actual swords. These are running through Luffy. They drain Luffy's lifespan, and yet Luffy probably will not, like these won't be significant injuries going forward into the final war. That's crazy to me. What an L9er trio of siblings. Luffy is still... Wow. He must be the one that we spoke of. Red hair mentioned him back then. We still have to see the Loki and Shanks fight, because Shanks having been in the Herald flashback talking to Loki and them fighting after that, I need to see the context of what that battle was, because there's definitely something further here with Shanks and Elbaf that we still have to find out in Elbaf. Like, I don't think it's going to be something that we get later on in the story, unless Emu actually does escape with the kids and Elbaf just becomes like an extended thing where it's like Onigashima and Wano, where it's like we had Act 1 in Wano, then we had Act 2, which was a flashback, and then we had the raid on Onigashima. The red-haired mentioned him back then. With this ability, I'll make sure Pops and those soldiers have no regrets. Okay, that's Loki. Hold on, Loki, I know you're angry, but you can't do that now. What are you talking about, red hair? Are you really gonna stand in my way when I want payback for my dad? I considered Harold a friend. I'd like nothing better than to avenge him too, but you have to think clearly. The government just attempted to take over Elbaf. Your priority should be to prepare for war. Okay? Alright, Shanks. A full-on war with the world government. What? Wait, hold on. A full-on war with the world government?
But why are you watching it?
I'm not watching it. What
You
I'm
just
saying,
said
I said
watching
scroll
it.
past it.
No, scroll and watching two different things.
Getting mentioned in Elbaf? Hold up. That's not what I have in mind. This is personal. Dad and those men have regrets I need to lay to rest. I'm talking about revenge on the ones responsible. And just who is that? Who's your target? All those world government bastards. The one who tried to use Herald is king of the world. So Shanks knows about Emu. We already knew that Shanks knew about Emu. What are you saying, Shanks? The world government has no sole ruler. It'd contradict everything they stand for. Like, you know what's hilarious to me? It's that you could probably say there's a king of the world to literally anyone in the top of the world of the story who knows how awful the world government is, and they'd say, but the world government would never do that. They'd never go that far. It's like, do we know the same world government is like, them having a king of the world is like the least surprising thing to me. Like, if I heard that and I was living in One Piece, I'd be like, damn, is it somebody I know? Is it like one of the Marines or something? Was it one of the Gorosei, the Holy Knights? I was like, it would not surprise me at all hearing that the world government had a king of the world. Like, I don't know why Jarl is so surprised here. Hey Shanks, it's okay if you don't believe me, haha. If there is a secret king, I can just take his head and be done with it. Even if you make it to the Holy Land, the king's power is immeasurable, and that's if you can make it there. There is someone who managed it once, Rox D. Zebek. You know, I love the constant Zebek mentions, because this is just foreshadowing Blackbeard. The constant repetition of, hey, don't forget Zebek though. Hey, don't forget Zebek though. The constant reminder is going to be payback for when we see Blackbeard again. Because y'all have to remember, the last time we saw Blackbeard was at the start of Elbaf, and we've gotten all of the Zebek stuff since then. The next time we see Blackbeard, all of that is going to be coming in with the Zebek stuff. Like, Blackbeard is gonna upscale heavy the next time we see him. Mark my words, I guarantee it. We don't need to rush into this fight just yet. Shut it already, you don't get to boss me around. I don't care where that prick is hiding, I'll destroy everything in my way. Don't do anything stupid, Loki. So, reading this kind of gives me an idea again, like, but it doesn't actually really, because how close was Loki to actually going and facing Emu for Shanks to come out and stop him personally? Because Loki, between this time and 6 years before the current story, which is about, I believe, 10 to 12 years, I think, between this time and when Loki would eventually face Shanks again, that's a long time. And for Shanks to have never done anything with Loki during that point means that Loki was attacking world government ships, but never got close enough to the point where Shanks felt he had to go step in and try to stop Loki. Unless it was always that Shanks wanted to stop Loki, but he never became strong enough to do so until 6 years before the current story when he first became an emperor. Which we can only see once we actually get to see that fight, because the whole fight between Loki and Shanks has so many different things that could have gone on, where it's like, did Shanks fight him in a 1v1? Was it the red-haired pirates versus Loki? Did Loki and Shanks fight, or was it that it was reported that they fought and Loki allowed himself to be restrained? It's like, there's so many things that could have gone on in that battle where it's like, we need to see this at some point. Those few years I left the country, I wasn't even able to make it to him. If the king of the world really has come out to play, this is the perfect chance. Higher than saying you're so simple-minded. Say what? But I have no... Okay. You're so simple-minded. Say what? But I have no objections in this case. I'm going to take him down, our father's enemy. Like, if Emu does not leave within the next 2 chapters, I think he's going to lose on Elbaf. Like, a Hyrden being set up to want to take out Emu, Loki wanting to take out Emu, Luffy now having an actual reason to take out Emu. Like, if this doesn't get resolved in Elbaf, like I think the mural is saying, there's no way these guys are going, there's no way this is going to pay off for anything. This is going to be like the whole Big Mom and Luffy thing in Fishman Island, where Luffy's like, I'm going to be the one to beat you, and then Kid and Law beat her in Wano. It's like, Oda, don't write this and then have it be a thing where it's like Dragon and Sabo and Luffy are the ones who take out Emu. It's like, it really makes no sense, and it really makes no difference having this in the story or not if they're not going to beat Emu on Elbaf. Let's be for real. This is an unreal conversation. If the world has a king, then what role do the 5 elders serve? They serve the king. It's like, use your brain. Use your brain. Like, what role do the 5 elders serve? They serve the king, obviously. Okay, I just told you not to get in the way. Cheap. Ragnar, okay? He says he froze her because she's dangerous. Huh, you're the one who froze her? Well, she may be indeed dangerous. Or wait, well, she may indeed be dangerous, but I assure you it's not her fault. She was being controlled. This girl is like a daughter to me. And you know what would be funny? Ragnar joining the Straw Hats. Ragnar joining the Straw Hats with Usopp, because he literally, like, he fits very well into the pet role that Chopper would play. And actually, that would be Chopper upscale, because instead of Chopper being seen as the pet, Ragnar would then be seen as the pet. So, Ragnar and Usopp, 2027? Eh? Maybe 2026? Eh? You know what? Sounds like there's a lot of interesting things going on here. Robin finally returning. Holy. Chopper, I want you to come to the library right away. Okay? Next is, oh my, Huff Huff. Apologies, but this is the next blade thou must suffer. Oh my gosh, bro. You remember when Pain was like stabbing Naruto when he was down? This is what that reminds me of. Or was it Jiraiya? I don't remember, but there was like a scene in another anime where the dude was like down and the guy was just stabbing him with knives or swords slowly. He's like, all right, 1, 2, 3. It's like, he was just saying, all right, you're gonna be going through all 20 kings, man. We use these 20 blades to take out Joy Boy. Hey, man, if you're really Joy Boy, you can take it too, can't you? You can take it too, can't you? 1, 2. All right, bro. How unfortunate. The third one up is Xingtan or Xingshan. This probably belongs to the king of the Kano kingdom. I'm just saying that because the name sounds Chinese. The fact that Luffy is still conscious at all is crazy to me. Like, Huff Huff Arg. Sea Cloud Port, Western Village. King of Hell, 3-sword dragon, 103 mercies. Jihaha, dragon damnation, Gram. That was the sword that Emu used. I believe Emu used. 800 years ago, the 19 kings who forged our world made a vow of equality. They placed their swords all around the empty throne to mark that oath. Tohu, Bohu, Nemesis, Longinus, Stigma, Muramasa, the 19 world weapons, they were all laid to rest there. But guess what? When the Great One revived us with Omen, he granted us access to them. I'm not lying, their power is a legend that lives on through the great houses. Get it, Roronoa. This is the power that reigns over the world. So, 20 kings upscale, Joy Boy upscale. I was not tripping when I said in my top 30 video that all of the 20 kings are probably in the range of Fujitora to Roger.
20v1 kings that Imu had to go into an equal alliance with, as even at the end of the war they were all still considered equals when they laid their swords down on the empty throne. If you guys are curious about where I'd rank the 20 kings, they'd range from anywhere between the weakest ones being on par with Fuji to the strongest ones being on par with Roger in my eyes.
Like, these are actual fighters, which upscales Joyboy even further because he fought all 20 in a 20v1. Joyboy fought all these niggas in a 20v1, bro. This is crazy. You know what would be insane? Like, these all feel like Supreme Grade blades, like just off the names. Just off the names alone, these feel like Supreme Grade blades. They're probably not, but these are gonna be some top tier blades. I guarantee you from the range of, what's the grade to Supreme Grade? Like, this is crazy. Holy. I was wondering why Imu had so many like actual swords. So these are just all the 20 kings. I don't remember ever seeing an axe laid at the throne. Let me check again. Oh, there's actually an axe there. That might be it. Yeah, that might be Zhantian. I don't know. There does look to be, yeah, there is that is actually an axe. Holy. Oh, they're really, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go back and look through it and see if I can find each individual one. Because I do recognize one of them here, and then Nemesis is the one he had in his throne room. So that's crazy. Oda's really like masterful details, man. These are actually masterful details. Holy. Okay. Oh, also, I know I seen someone on Facebook talking about it, which is why I was surprised that the chapter was out already, because I saw like a little snippet of this. It's like Sommers in his Omen form just like low diff the attack that took King out. It's like this is like a regular clash, and this was the same attack that took out King, meaning that Omen Sommers could probably just boom one shot King. I guess that would be in his flame off form, maybe not in his flame on form, but this is upscale for the future of the story. This is the weapon of House Shepherd Graham. These swords look cold, I'm not gonna lie to you. Meet the weapon of House Rimoshifu, Longinus. You know what? This is gonna be hilarious. Cause once Shamrock uses the sword of House Garland, and then someone uses the sword of House Don Quixote, it's like Bankai's in Bleach, where it's like you're just waiting to see what sword they're gonna use. And it's like, this is the sword of House Nerona, Nemesis. And then this is the sword of House Dracule, Yoru. And it's like, oh my gosh, bro, it's gonna be the whole Bankai's thing all over again, where you're just waiting to see, I wonder what the Bankai for this family is gonna be. It's like, okay, buddy. Thou shouldst die, or thou shouldst be honored to die by the arms that constructed this world. Baha Gigi. Ugh. And then Old Man Glaze. Old Man Glaze. Gaban steps in, 1 axe versus 2. Let's see why they call him the Mountain Eater. Let's see why they call him the left-hand man of the Pirate King. You know what this is? This is Blackbeard of
Ice candy.
It's crazy. It's crazy that Gaban is able to stop this attack at all. And it's crazy how this is what I thought was going to happen last chapter, except I thought it was going to be someone other than Gaban. I thought it was going to be either Dragon or Shanks, but someone had to come in and stop Imu from killing Luffy this chapter. But the fact that it's Gaban is crazy to me. Because what is Gaban going to do here? What are we saying? It's either we're saying that, one, Imu actually did not stand a chance against rocks, like in his silhouette form, and it was all hacks. Because the argument I'm hearing is that because Imu dummy reverse heat rocks, that means that Imu would be able to like low diff rocks regardless of the circumstance. Are we saying that Prime Zebek is weaker than Old Man Gaban? Is that what we're saying? We can't be saying that. That can't be what we're saying. So it's either we understand that what happened in God Valley was simply hacks, which what I want to talk about is the difference between Silhouette Imu and Imu in his demon form. Because Imu in his demon form, 1, doesn't appear to be able to regen, and 2, if he doesn't Domi Reverse Gaban is not able to use Domi Reverse, meaning those two forms are like different abilities almost in a sense, because what he can do in one form he can't necessarily do in the other form, which would explain why he didn't use Omen for the Holy Knights on God Valley, because maybe in that form he's not capable of using Omen. Maybe that's why he needed to use Omen in this form. You see where I'm getting at? It's like these might be two separate abilities in one person, or like some people are theorizing, these are like two separate entities altogether. Because if Gaban doesn't get low diff next chapter, then we're not saying that Rox is weaker than the Emu that he fought on God Valley. And we're not saying that the 6 people who attacked Emu and weren't capable of one-shotting him were weaker than this. Like, if they use that same attack on this Emu, they're probably dealing damage to him because this Emu can't regen for some reason. So let's cool it with the whole upscales, downscales thing. I say that, but then I also say, if Gaban does not get one shot next chapter, this is Blackbeard upscale. For one reason. Rayleigh thought that regardless of the way the fight went, if he did not scare Blackbeard off that island, he was going to lose to Blackbeard. And he saw that without even knowing what Blackbeard was capable of. Like, he's never seen Blackbeard fight. All he knows is he has the Gura, he has the Yami, and he's fast enough to catch Hancock. If I fight this man, he is going to beat me and kill Hancock and me. Like, whatever Gaban does next chapter is going to upscale Blackbeard. And it's going to upscale Blackbeard heavily because at bare minimum, Rayleigh and Gaban are equal. At bare maximum, they have the same gap that maybe Zoro and Sanji do. Which, it's not a significant gap, but there is a difference between Zoro's strength and Sanji's strength. And there would be a difference between Rayleigh's strength and Gaban's strength. So, hey, don't shoot the messenger. All I'm telling you is whatever Gaban does next chapter is Blackbeard upscale. And whatever Blackbeard would be able to do would be what Gaban is capable of doing next chapter and more so. Meaning the post I made yesterday or a few days ago saying that Gear 5 would get done this way and Blackbeard would not is gonna be confirmed next chapter. So, hey, all of you that was telling me I was stupid, let's see what happens next chapter. Y'all better pray Gaban gets one shot next chapter. Because if he doesn't, Blackbeard to the moon, Blackbeard is beating Luffy, Blackbeard is beating Kaido, Blackbeard is beating Big Mom, and Shanks and Blackbeard gap the old Emperor's hard. Like a hard gap. Gaban probably gaps the old Emperor's hard too. Like if Gaban does more than Luffy's capable of doing, he probably gaps the old Emperor's hard too. I'm not gonna lie to you. So now that the chapter is ended, what do I think is gonna happen next chapter? One, the time limit thing with Emu is gonna have to come into play because Emu has basically been fighting with like no restriction. Like the only restriction that we've seen came when he initially came to Elbaf and was like, coughing up blood, that kind of thing. It's like he hasn't really been restricted in any obvious way. The only thing you could say is against Loki, but Loki might just be that powerful. Like, that might not have even been a restricted Emu. It might have just been that Loki was just that strong to have Emu bleeding, huffing, and sweating that much. It's like, there doesn't really seem to be any real restrictions. So if that does not come into play next chapter to explain why Gaban is capable of holding Emu off for as long as he is, then there is no restrictions on Emu at this point, which means what we're seeing is basically full power Emu. Like, we're basically seeing Emu at his max because if he's capable of bringing the swords in, but the abilities that he has in his silhouette form aren't capable of being used, unless he can like combine both forms, then that would be full power Emu, which we'll have to wait and see, I guess, but something with a time limit is gonna have to come into play next chapter. 2, I believe that Gaban is going to show us something new with Conqueror's Haki, and it's going to be similar to what he was hinting at before, but go past ACOG. Because him saying there's a special way to use your Conqueror's Haki when he'd already seen Zoro use ACOG means that what he's saying can't just be ACOG. It can't just be that hit him really hard with a whole bunch of Conqueror's Haki. Like, we're gonna have to see something different that Gaban unlocked during his time after God Valley that will now help him in this fight against Emu. Another thing, the thing with the library. I believe that Biblo is gonna come into play somewhat next chapter for getting everyone to safety away from Emu, and I believe that Biblo might fly the kids and maybe the Straw Hats too to the Heaven Realm, and that's where they're gonna recoup. And then Gaban, after this, if he's able to ward Imu off, like to distract him or something, get him away, or give Loki enough time to heal. Loki might end up coming into play next chapter if he's being healed as Gaban is fighting. That may come into play too, which that would be the perfect time for Loki to use hybrid, which is the end of next chapter. So let me get my thoughts together. I think 1, we're gonna see something new with Conqueror's Haki next chapter. 2, the Imu stamina drain or time limit thing is gonna have to be coming into play at some point. 3, Biblo is more than likely gonna get everyone to the Heaven Realm or get everyone to safety at least, which is why Robin is telling them to go back to the library. Or was Biblo even at the library? I don't know. Even if he wasn't, I think Biblo is gonna come into play because I think I think he disappeared. So Biblo is gonna come into play, and then we're gonna be seeing more of the Killingham and Summers fights, which means we're probably gonna be seeing some further development for Sanji's Conqueror's Haki, which would come into play with the whole thing with Gaban, like Gaban showing us a new way to use Conqueror's Haki and Sanji getting some more exposition for his Conqueror's Haki. Like, I think we're gonna be all over the place in next chapter. We're gonna be here, we're gonna be here, we're gonna be here, we're gonna be here. Because I don't think this is the climax of the arc necessarily, but I think this is starting the climax of the arc. Like, this is gonna be the first crocodile fight before we get the break, before we get into the actual war for Alabasta kind of thing. So this chapter, I'm not gonna go as long with my description as the last one. The only reason I went so long on that one was because I had to set the record straight. But for this one, I'd say that's basically all I got to say for this chapter. It was a very good chapter, mainly because it was so funny, and 2, because I like seeing swords in One Piece. Like, I like getting blades that are actually like cool blades. Like, if the 7 warlords of the sea were actually swordsmen like we were led to believe back in Baratie, then this is what I want to see, like cool blades. Like, they pull one on and it's like Bankai, or they pull one on and it's like the ninja swords of the mist. It's like, I like seeing cool blades in anime because I feel like that's what anime is all about, you know? Swordsmen are like the pinnacle of fighters in anime. Like, seeing Trunks, seeing Ichigo, seeing Urahara, Kenpachi, Zabuza, Arthur, Asta, like, you know, characters that are like cool swords that you get to see them fight with, and they use like a lot of different sword techniques, that kind of thing. So I like seeing that part about the chapter. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really have any complaints about this chapter, which, based on my ranking system, I'd say that would make it a 10 out of 10 chapter, but I'm not giving this chapter a 10 out of 10. I'd say this is more of an 8.5 out of 10. Like, this is a really good chapter, but it doesn't have like the oomph or the, oh my gosh, world-shaking, story-breaking kind of ending to make it like a 10 out of 10 chapter. But this was like all around a very good chapter. So I'm assuming there's gonna be a break next week because I was told that there's gonna be a break next week. So next video up is gonna be Absolute Roger. What would Roger's full potential look like? So stay tuned in for that one. I'm gonna be done editing the video. I'm gonna edit this one first so I get the live reaction out first. And then about like Monday or Tuesday, you might see the Roger's maximum potential video. So without any further delay, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe, and stay tuned in for more high quality One Piece content. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.